Hi y'all, Frankie Day here on YouTube. Okay guys, this is video 4 of the Battle of Britain group build, featuring my GPM card paper kit of the Junkers JU-87B, the triplets of Jericho Stuka. Okay guys, I kind of put the cart before the horse. I assumed from the last video that I have this thing done for the final reveal, but I had things I had to take care of around the house. Got things squared away and everything. Got them all done, got out of the way now. So, therefore, I'm pretty much back on the saddle again as building this. Okay, folks. Excuse me, guys. So I got a frog in my throat or something. Anyway, excuse me. Anyway, guys. Thus far in the construction so far, I got all the dive brakes completely finished. The model now is virtually almost done. Right now I'm working on the undercarriage right now. Once the undercarriage is done, I'm going to put it on her legs and go ahead and get the canopy, the propeller, and a couple details all done, and lastly be the bombs, and show you all done. So I can't see why I cannot have this thing finished by tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday, so it works pretty good to my advantage. I got pretty much done on what I elected to do, so I'm pretty much on schedule, with the exception I wish I would have had done this evening. But therefore, you know, priority is the key before getting back on the water, on the model bench. Okay, guys, tomorrow we're gonna have an double feature tomorrow, and I'm going to introduce to you fellas the next kit I'm going to build. It's going to be a card kit, and it's going to be, it'll make a good companion next to the Junkers Stuka. And so I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be, so therefore let me a surprise for you guys tomorrow. Okay guys, back in the Stuka. So far she's pretty good. I've been doing a lot of tuning up on it and touch up here and there, and a lot of burnishing here and there, getting her pretty well squared away. And this model, she's pretty well used, this Stuka. It's pretty authentic, and for a paper kit, it's not bad. I really enjoy building card kits. I just can't get enough of them. I built so many of them when I was a young kid one time, and then when plastic came in back in the 1950s, it was we kind of turned things around. That's why paper modeling more or less kind of phased out, went out with the dodo. Okay guys, we're going to take the camera and we're going to swing it around, and I'll show you how much done I've got on the mighty Stuka, and we'll get back to yours truly and finish up the video. And I'll discuss what I'm doing, and I'll discuss what I've completed on the model. So let's take the camera and swing it over to the Stuka and take a look at it. There she is, fellas. That's good right there. Okay, guys, so far I got all the dive brakes done on it. Let me get a little closer, guys, so you can see, fellas. There you go. I got all the dive brakes on here. The aileron is on. Dive brakes on. I lowered these dive brakes, folks, either in a diving mode or a landing mode. And I had to make some adjustment of the bell crank system on here, which employed the movability of the control surfaces. As you can see, I got the bomb racks on. I got the dive brake here on both wings all done, and gave it a coat of Krylon. And when I finished, fellas, with this card model I'm going to do, I'll thin this down with lacquer thinner. This is called Aerogloss Dope. Now, I went down to Smitty's hobby shop. I asked Russ. Russ said, "Russ, how about order me some dope if you can find any?" He said, "Yep, Aerogloss is back in business again. They're my Midwest products are bringing back the dope. So I'm going to mix this with lacquer thinner 50-50. Then I'm going to airbrush the whole entire airplane using this here dope. And what this dope will do, it'll impregnate this paper on this kit and make it really tough, like real thin plastic. And the idea of using Krylon is more or less seal the printing and keep it from coming off on your fingers. It also makes construction more pliable. Right now, folks, since the dub brakes are all done, I went back and kind of do a little touch-up paint here and there. I got all the holidays all really picked out, so I can't find any bare white outs on here. This color's pretty good. So right now, I'm working on the pants here. These are the undercarriage, which fits right over here. And right now it needs to be put together. It's in the construction phase, as you can see. And I had to come along and burnish all this in. I had to make little petals across here to form it, and I'll burn it out with the butt end of a butter knife. And once it's done, just kind of snap the thing together, stick your tire in there, and put your pants on there, and your fairings, and glue it to the same, and she's all done. So the object of the game, the object of the lesson, folks, is to take this here. Take this piece of card right here and turning it into this. See, carbolic, folks, you got to make sure these parts are completely formed before you glue them together, because you don't, you're going to get lost and you'll run into trouble and everything. So there's all kinds of tricks in building paper models. There's a lot of tricks, folks, and usually you'll figure things as you go along, and it can be a good vocabulary of thought towards working on paper models. So right now, guys, just kind of get away from styrene for a while. I got enough card kits here to last me for generations and generations on end, and I like to be able to build a couple of them again, to get them a couple done, and go right back to styrene again. So I got a lot of good builds coming up, folks. So right now, I'm going to finish up my Stuka here for the Battle of Britain group build, get it all done, and I'll put it on the back. This plane goes on pretty good together, guys. I really enjoyed this thing. And as you can see, the Trumpets of Jericho is starting to look like a Stuka now. And I got the, turn around, you can see the dive brakes on it, how they are. And it's a very nice airplane. I love it to death. It's going along pretty good. And once I airbrush that dope on this paper is going to be very hard, and it's going to be very tough. So tomorrow I'll put the canopy on there, and finish up the build. I got to put the 20 millimeters on here, get them installed. I got to do a little touch up across here on the controls, on your control brackets, where they hook up underneath the trailing edge of the wings, and to say the least, fellas, it's going on quite decently, and I'm enjoying the hell out of this thing. Once we get her legs on, she's going to turn out to be a very nice airplane when I get done with her. And so this card kit right here is a nice kit by GPM, and it looks like plastic in a way. You look at it very carefully, and it's going to be a beautiful airplane when I get finished with it, folks. You know, this is the Stuka is probably one of my favorite German airplanes. It's a very beautiful airplane. And as a technical note, folks, I've got to mention on the beginning of the video, I've been kind of slacking up on my history lesson before the construction starts. I can remember the Stuka was the first and only aircraft ever used during the Second World War that had a Failsafe Recovery program. Now, the thing was computerized inside the aircraft. The idea is that, what I mean by Failsafe Recovery system, when these Stukas here, when they went into a dive, I don't know how many G's the pilot went through, but when you're going down, straight down to deliver a 1,000-pound bomb on the enemy, and you pull out of a dive, and all that blood will go right to your head and you'll black out. So what Junkers did, which is called very, very smart, beautiful, great, short of genius, German technology. They incorporated a Failsafe Recovery program. It's monitored from the altimeter. When this aircraft reaches 1,800 feet, and the pilot blacks out as he pulls out of the dive, if he can't pull out and he blacks out, this airplane will pull out of the dive by itself. And before the butt end leaves his head, he'll regain consciousness and maintain control of the airplane. I tell you folks, that's a very, very great piece of engineering. It's very smart. I mean, that's very unheard of. I'm surprised that we never did that, though, but the Germans were very, very intelligent people, and they really put their all in engineering. And that's probably one of the most greatest events as a fail-safe recovery system for an airplane like this, keeping it from foundering and crashing and burning and killing the pilot in the process. So that's a good technical note right there, you guys out there for the Stuka. And I had a buddy of mine out in California when I got out of the Navy. I used to work for a masonry contractor when I got out. And before I moved out to Ohio, his name was Billy Grunner. He was a Luftwaffe pilot. He flew Stukas during 1939 during the invasion of Poland. And he told me a lot of stories of it. And this man was a very, very dedicated model builder himself. He built a 1/6 scale of the Stuka made out of aircraft aluminum by using the real plans. And I tell you one thing, folks, it was the most realistic looking airplane model I've ever seen in my life. It looked like the real aircraft that went through some kind of miniaturization program that reduced it to the scale of 1/6. And he's the one that told me about the Failsafe Recovery system. I learned that from Mr. Billy Grunner. Very, very nice gentleman. He loved the Stukas. He said the Stuka was a beautiful airplane, and a lot of the German hotheads, they thought they were obsolete before their time, but they were used throughout the war. So usually as tank busters out there in North African campaign, they're like the AD-6 Sky Raider of the United States Navy, the flying dump truck. These things can take a beating and come back. But a beautiful airplane she is. And so right now, folks, I'm going to let her set and dry a little bit. And tomorrow I'll go ahead and start working on the spats here. I'm going to get this thing here more burnished out more. Smooth out more real good. Give it a shot of Krylon. Let it dry. And I'm going to assemble the rest of it before I install it to the airplane itself. And I'll go ahead and I'm going to dope this thing down once it's all done. So like I say, fellas, earlier in the video, I can't see why I will not have this thing done by tomorrow. So it'll definitely be finished tomorrow. And I'll have another build coming up right after the video with the final reveal. Okay, guys, I'm going to let the trumpets of Jericho dry right here. I'm going to let these spats dry a little bit because I don't want to burnish anymore because they lose kind of wet in there. Like I mentioned with card kits, folks, just because you think it's dry, it's not. You start burnishing around with the butt end of a knife or a spoon, pretty soon you start loosening up those darn connector tabs, and pretty soon this thing will unfoil right before your eyes, and all your work will be wasted. So therefore, you just got to take your time, let things dry. And that's how you deal with card models, and the same thing applies to plastic. Okay, boys, this concludes video 4 of the Battle Britain group build. And tomorrow will be the final reveal, so stay tuned for that. And we'll take the camera, swing around here truly, and finish up the video. Okay, fellas, here I am. Okay, guys, that concludes the video. And again, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Make God bless, make Mama happy, and happy modeling, and please subscribe. And tomorrow, so please stay tuned for the final reveal of my Stuka 87B, and I'll have another build entry too as well. And so stay tuned for that too. So tomorrow will be double feature Saturday. So I'll work half the day tomorrow. So I'll get up at noon. So I'll get up at noon and go get cleaned up a little bit and get hot on this, get this thing done. So right now I'll think about really hit the old parts sack and go to sleep and wake up and go to work tomorrow and turn 2 and come back to the Stuka. Before I sign out, folks, on my email, on my Facebook and everything like that, I'd like to thank each and one of you great fellows out there wishing me my big 7-5 birthday. And I kid you not, guys, I mean, this stuff keeps you young. It does. It really does keep you young. It keeps you going. The key of keeping your health, fellas, when you get elderly like me, is modeling is the first thing to do. The second thing is just keep active. When you keep active, you'd be surprised how long you live, because you're just keeping everything in running order. So again, folks, I'd like to thank everybody for your wonderful, beautiful thoughts and everything for my birthday, and I'm very happy. I went out to dinner tonight and had a good time, and had me and the missus and my brother came over, and his girlfriend came over, and we had a beautiful dinner. And so I went back on the Stuka and worked on her a little bit. So anyway, folks, it's come on quite well. I'm very happy with this, and I'm very happy. So anyway, fellas, once more time again, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. May God bless, and stay tuned tomorrow for the final reveal and another kit entry, and it'll be double feature Saturday. We'll see you guys tomorrow, boys. Take care, fellas. God love you guys.